right, so we just experienced an earthquake. According to our head seismologist, it was measured a 6.2 on the Richter scale, and we've been feeling just a few aftershocks.
Okay.
But we've managed to locate all the survivors so far, and we have them moved to our medical triage center. We have one casualty so far. We suffered one casualty, unknown gender. We have multiple wounded.
Okay.
At least 7. That's not the official count, but at least 7.
Okay.
And I just went through and talked with them. They're doing all right for the most part. Wounds ranging from minor to severe, and but they're being taken care of by our excellent medical staff here. So we're making sure just all our patients are in secure locations, and that we have all our supplies locked down. So if any further incidents should occur.
My kids! Why?
Sir, I'm going to ask you to calm down.
Come on! We had a survivor. He became worried about his family. He started rushing for the gates, trying to find them in the building, even though it was already roped off for his own safety. He tried to escape in the camp, and Matt, the other security guard, assisted in taking him down, put the zip ties around him, and we have now under surveillance.
So I'm just going to start with you, and we'll go around, and we'll go over what's happening and what kind of the status is of it.
Okay.
So you are versus the camera. Do you want to say what your position is?
Yep, I'm Jake Perez, and my position is head of search and rescue. And we went to the building. We searched around after the earthquake happened, and we did find 2 bodies. One person was severely injured, and the other person did not survive.
So that was after the initial?
Yeah, after the initial.
Okay, and so currently what's the status of those people?
One of them is severely injured. They took him to surgery twice, and the other one he did not make it.
And what's the status of the building, the collapse?
The collapse?
Site?
The building was completely destroyed.
Okay. Is it secure?
It is secure.
We'll have more on that with our security debriefing.
All survivors are inside the camp.
We'll go with that. Okay, how are things been organized, been kind of flowing in the camp?
Pretty well. We have everybody calm and as collected as possible. We've had one aftershock that shook the camp, unfortunately, but everything was stabilized as well as we could get it. We therefore have not had any other aftershocks.
What's your position?
The Vice Executive of Incident Command. Basically, the system has worked out very well. The bureaucratic nature, everyone's been doing their job. It's been running efficiently. We had our security teams out, making sure that everyone coming in the camp was safe and making sure that they kept order within the camp. There have been no incidents as of yet. Our search and rescue team went over and did a fine job getting all the possible survivors out of the rubble, and our triage team is being guarded, as well as our food and supplies that we need, by the security team as well.
Excellent. And okay, so Matt, head of security.
Matt Kessler, General Secretary of Security Services. Right now the camp is very secure. We have the main entrance secured. The building, or the crash site, has also been roped off, and we can get in and out of that, just to make sure no one's going to move from the building. So far everything looks really good. We're all locked down though.
All right. Can we have a medical update?
Yeah, house sanitation. We did everything we could to help the victims. Some of them we couldn't help them, but right now I think everybody's stable.
So this is Adam Holte, Incident Commander. You guys have all been doing an excellent job today, so I want to thank you for that. Let's work hard to keep our departments in order, keep everyone on their feet doing what they're supposed to do, and make sure all these people are accounted for and safe and secure. And we'll probably meet up a little later, but other than that, let's carry on. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you all for coming. My name is Adam Holte, and I'm the Incident Commander for here at Camp Aftershock. And right now we're just going to have a short little ceremony after our earthquake incident. And so we're going to have a couple people come up and speak.
My experiences with earthquakes, what can I say? Chile is the most earthquake-prone region in the world. There are plenty of fault lines running through Chile. It has experienced some of the most violent earthquakes in history. And in 2010, 2 weeks before the inauguration of another president in Chile, we had a very, very violent earthquake in Concepcion that had a degree of magnitude of somewhere in the 8.2 range, which is very, very extensive. However, Chile does do a very good job of building for earthquakes. So the damage that you had in Chile, as if you recall, that around that time they also had a huge earthquake in Haiti, which devastated Haiti, which was a much smaller degree of magnitude. And so Chile experienced much less devastation, even though the earthquake was much more measured much higher on the Richter scale. Earthquakes also have a political impact. Speaking as a political scientist, in Chile, the earthquake made people finally realize that there is tremendously high levels of social inequality, exposed some of the social inequalities that had long kind of been concealed under the blizzard of kind of, reports of Chile being the jaguar of Latin America, being the most advanced country in Latin America, and these kinds of things, had long hidden these things, and they came out. Chile also, one of the mistakes that was made, Chile, the government was roundly criticized for not sending the military out into the streets during that earthquake because of political reasons. They did not want to be seen as calling on the military, given Chile's history with military regimes. They didn't want the military on the street, and that was perhaps in retrospect a bad idea, given that they probably needed law and order. There was plenty of looting and other kinds of things going on in Concepcion and other places as a result. So earthquakes have obviously tremendous tragedy associated with them, but they have a silver lining. In Chile, they did produce some realizations that some things needed to change in the country, which I think is a good thing if you want to find anything good coming out of an earthquake. I went to Chile about a year after the earthquake happened on sabbatical for 6 months, and they were still having aftershocks. And I remember we rented an apartment on the 24th floor of a building, 23rd, 24th floor of a building, of an apartment building, and we got a 5.5 earthquake, which in Chile is really nothing. But I remember the building swaying back and forth, and us on the 24th floor. And that was a very scary moment. I was all ready to get out of the building, and my wife said, "No, just stay, and we can't go anywhere," essentially. But I was ready to leave, evacuate the building quickly. But of course, that was not the right response. So, I've had some experience with earthquakes. I went through an earthquake in Guatemala as well, a more significant earthquake. They're truly scary moments, but they're also instructive moments.
I'm sure you've all noticed our wonderful logo on the sign, the brochures, and the t-shirts that was provided to us by our graphics designer here. So with that, I'd like to present you with this shirt. Thanks so much. It turned out really well. So with that, next speaker. Okay.
Dr. Ye!
Thank you. Thank you for asking me to talk about my experience as a political refugees in the refugee camps in Thailand back to the 80s. I just want to give you a background experience about the migrations of the Hmong, the Laos, and the Vietnamese from Indochina, consistence of Laos, Vietnam, and Cambodia to become political refugees in Thailand and eventually to the United States. That background has to be explained by the Cold War competitions between the United States on the one hand and the former Soviet Union on the other hand on the issues of the superpowers. So given the differences between the two countries in terms of political ideologies, and each of the two superpowers promote their allies in third world countries to fight on their behalf, and that is the situations in Vietnam, Laos, and Cambodia, in which the United States involved in supporting the non-communist governments in those countries. And those of us who are in the non-communist governments therefore form alliance with the United States during the conflicts from the 60s to 75, communists took over, and then we escaped certain countries of origins to become political refugees in Thailand. And as a political refugees that you migrate from a place to the others, the new place you don't really know what to expect, and anything can happen. You are not prepared to face the disasters, the homelessness, the poverties, anything that you can think of. That happens in the camp. And we are not really no experience to face that type of situation. And I thought about this class. It would be really nice for Pat to offer this class, not just this time, but future classes to prepare our students here to provide such assistance to other peoples who face not only natural disasters, but also man-made disasters such as us. And that would be very, very helpful, important, not just in St. Cloud, this class, but in part good for the United States as the superpowers who are responsible not only for our own destinies in the United States, but beyond. And this class is really helpful to give you some sort of simulations like this to experience in actual situations. So that's my situations, and I thought you are really lucky that born in the United States and you don't really actually understand what we are talking about. Actuality situation is really different from what we are doing in here. And after graduating St. Cloud State University, if you're interested in this type of stuff, I do encourage you to participate so that you can see the other pictures of real life about needy peoples who are being displaced because of natural disasters or because of man-made disasters. So with that, I really appreciate the time, and thank you.
Thank you. All right, next, if I can have Christy up here to speak a little bit.
It's been wonderful over the course of the semester to see all of you come into your class to hear what's going on next, what are you planning next, to see this all kind of come to a completion here at the end of the semester. So I really have to give a hats off to Pat Bolson. She really works closely with students. I think she's a great mentor for her students, and you're very lucky to have her as a professor because she cares. And also because you get to experience what you're doing in the classroom, you actually get to kind of do a simulation outside. So it brings experiential learning kind of full circle. But also, I had somebody make the comment to me like, oh, there's not earthquakes in Minnesota, ho, ho, ho. I said, it's really not to do with earthquakes. It's about how do we handle a situation in crisis and how do we respond. Can be used, anything that you're learning in this class can be used in everyday life. So I just think it's a great opportunity. I'm glad that you're all here. You should all be proud of yourself. This is, I think, the most organized I've seen this. This is my third one that I've been through with Pat, so hats off to all of you. And I have a very special gift for Pat. I'd like to give it to her now. It's even wrapped. Thank you. Oh, thank you.
I'm Dr. Carolyn Williams, and I'm wearing two hats today. I'm the Associate Dean for Multicultural Affairs and STEM Initiatives, and STEM stands for Science, Technology, Engineering, and Math. And I just got back from Washington, D.C., where we were representing our university and the state of Minnesota at the Science and Engineering Festival, and saw thousands and thousands of people for 4 days. I'm also the Vice Chair of Central Minnesota Red Cross chapter, which is located on St. Germain Street here in St. Cloud, Minnesota. And hopefully with this disaster program, you will become some volunteers for us. As you know, a disaster is a natural or man-made hazard resulting in an event of extent causing significant damage or destruction or loss of life or drastic change to the environment. A disaster can be defined as any tragic event stemming from events such as tsunami, tornado, mudslides, hurricanes, as an earthquake, which you have chosen to do as a disaster. It's a phenomenon that causes damage to lives, property, and destroys the economic and social and cultural life of people. The Red Cross wants people to be ready for emergencies and disasters. We must start preparing people for them. And the Red Cross has implemented the Preparedness Challenge to get people better prepared by having a disaster kit prepared in their homes. We want to familiarize and have people better informed and, most important, prepared for emergencies and disaster. And the result of this effort is to improve the level of preparedness, understanding, and encouragement to get communities to prepare for whatever disasters loom our way, such as an earthquake, flooding, and so forth. Your class represents true innovation and excellence in teaching. I know from your knowledge and your expertise about earthquakes, you're going to be better prepared for any type of disaster and emergency. And I want to take this special opportunity to thank Dr. Bodelson for her innovation in teaching and for your class in allowing me to be a part of your disaster every year. We want people to be Red Cross ready. And I would like to again thank you, and I also want you to come out and join the Red Cross, because the Red Cross is the first people there when a disaster comes. And we need people like you to help us in volunteering. Thank you for this opportunity.
Dr. Williams, if you'd come up here for just one more moment. On behalf of this class, we'd like to present you with the t-shirt representing Camp Aftershock.
Okay, thank you so much.
And thanks for speaking.
Oh, thank you.